এইটো কথা পাতিলো
কি ক'লে
পৰা এইটো মোৰতো ছাৰ এইটো হেৰি এডমিনক যে একাউণ্ট দিব লাগিব তাৰ ষ্টুডেণ্টৰ একাউণ্ট দিব লাগিব নহ'লেতো সিহঁতে গোটেইখিনি বস্তু দেখা নাপায় খালি আমি ৰিড অনলি কৰি দিম সেইটো এইটো ইমান দিন মানে তোমাক কেতিয়া বুজাইছো আমিও বুজা নাই চাকৰিটো যোৱা বাৰু দিন হৈছিলেহে ডিসপ্লে হয়েছে নার্সিং হোম ডিসপ্লে হয়েছে না সেটা পড়ার আরো কিছু রেডি করব পড়ার আরো কিছু এই এখন কোথায় করতে attendance lo poco más. Para que te diga, para que te diga. No, belego pues. Mo de আমার এখন না গামছা আমাদের পিঠা বলা আমি পিঠা করে আরে আমি নালাগে নালাগে পিসি স্যারে যাবো তেমন করে তো এখন আছে ফোন করতে না পিসি স্যারে গামছা আমার দেবো যে আমি এটা মানে এই আমি হোস্ট না অনেকটা পড়ে আসবে তার মানে আপনি টেলিগ্রামে আলাদা পাঠিয়ে দিব চারটা দিলে চার পাঠিয়ে দিতে পারেন এটা মানে এই অংশটা সুন্দর থাকে পারবে আমি তো শুধু হেল্প করব করা হবে পাইব আর আপনি বলেছেন তাহলে মই এটা আছে এটা আমি পাঠিয়ে দেব পারে hello check hello
এই ধৰি লওক এই কেমেৰাটো এই ষ্টেণ্ড কেইটা এনেকৈ চাব পৰাকে এটা এই কৰ্নাৰ এটা সোমাই থলা এইটো হেৰি দিবা এইটো হ'ব লাগিব ইয়াতে নকব লাগিব লাগি যায় এখন এখন হ'ব 8 ফুট মান 7 ফুট মান দি দিবা লাহে লাহে ষ্টুডেণ্টবিলাক পঠাই দিব আৰু জানো হয়
Hello.
Am I audible? Auditorium seminar sir. এটা আমি করে দিচ্ছি আমাকে ভেরিফাই করে দিচ্ছি ও করে রাখছি নাই তার কেন মানে অ্যাসেসমেন্ট করতে কেন অ্যাসেসমেন্ট করতে কেন না না এটা মানে অ্যাসেসমেন্ট করতে কেন মার্কস ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন ठीक है 100 से बाद में 60-40 करना है ठीक है हाँ इसका प्रैक्टिकल को ना परिवर्तन हाँ कोर्स और मुझे लगता है मुक्स कोर्स जिला को ना Hey. Principal नहीं होगा
Not my fault.
number to get wait. Money a cumulative computer explainer. Make noise here. Please go to classroom. Here on the program I will direct the YouTube, okay? So I need pin your silent for the আপনি আমার ছেলে জানি She joined? Yes, sir. And Tanuj Goswami? Yes, sir. What, how I can see? Sir, you can say here from here, there only. But say, yeah, face cannot be seen. If they can means Mr. Goswami, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Okay.
And it's now Delhi.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here. Okay. Not yet, sir.
So we will start after another say 5 minutes or so. Sit. She is just Nine. She is the director of he is a son.
A very good afternoon to Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Daisy Bowman. I'd like to welcome you all to the advocacy program of Competition Commission of India, held for the benefit and motivation of the students, researchers, and faculty members at the Assam Downtown University. With us today, we have the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Assam Downtown University, Professor N.C. Dalkar, sir, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Prampir Singh, sir, and Honorable speakers, Sri Umesh Kumar, sir, and Sri Tanuj Goswami, sir, and the Deputy Director of Competition Commission of India, Aishwarya Rao, ma'am. Now, I request our VC sir and Pro VC sir to come to the dais and felicitate our esteemed speaker.
Hello. সেই তেনেকৈ ৰাখা মই সুধিছিলোঁ সিহঁতে এডিট কৰিব বিচাৰে সেই তেনেকৈ দিয়া
I'd like to introduce our esteemed speaker for this event today, Sri Umesh Kumar, sir, who is a mechanical engineering graduate from NIT Patna. He had joined the Indian Police Service in 1984 and was allotted the Assam cadre. In his long service career, he served as a district superintendent of police in 6 districts during a very troublesome period when the insurgency was at its peak in the state. Apart from serving as the DIG of the Eastern Range of Assam at Guwahati, he also served in the special branch and headed the police training college at Belgaum in Assam. He was on central deputation to the Central Industrial Security Force, where he served in different capacities, including IG Southern Sector at Chennai, looking after the security of the public sector undertakings located in South India, and also the vital installations of the Department of Space, Government of India. In CISF, apart from looking after the disaster management area of the work of the organization, he also served as IG Airport Sector, looking after the security of all the airports in the country. He has also headed the border organization of Assam Police, supervising the sensitive work of detection and deportation of illegal migrants, and as director, he was in charge of the fire and emergency services of Assam, which also included disaster management in the state. As a DGP level officer, he had headed the Home Guard and Civil Defense Organization of the state and was also the chairman cum managing director of Assam Police Housing Corporation. In 1995, he had led the Indian police delegation to the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Angola in Africa, where he was there for about a year when the civil war was going on in that country. Moving on, we have the introductory remark by our esteemed speaker, Sri Kumar Sir, on advocacy program of Competition Commission of India. Sir.
Then I will not be a little bit the best negotiating position. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Vice Chair, Chancellor of Downtown University of Tamil, the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University Processing, faculty members, your office staffs are here, or not office staff, and the students, my dear students. First of all, I am very thankful to the university to allow me to be present here today to interact with you on a very, very relevant and contemporary subject, that is Competition Act and what they are doing. I have already been introduced. As she introduced me, my name is Umesh Kumar. I live in Guwahati. I'm a retired police officer, and you can see my colleague, Mr. Tamil Goswami. He is there. He is joining us online from Jordan, and he's a retired ACS officer. You can also see Ms. Aishwarya Rao. She is the deputy director in Competition Commission of India, and she's joining today from Delhi live. This is the perhaps maybe 90th or 100th program which we are doing to create awareness basically about the Competition Act of the year 2002 and the role of the Competition Commission of India. We have so far in the last 2 years, around that period, we have held this kind of program in all the districts, almost all the offices of the deputy commissioners of the state, where the representatives from different departments like engineering, health, police, social welfare, they all are there. Myself, along with my colleague, we have also organized program for almost all important corporations and the government of Assam. Most of the important directorates and the government of Assam. Almost all public sector undertaking, the important one in Assam, like ONGC, the Oil India Limited, NRA, Guwahati Refinery, Dispur Refinery, so forth, so on. We had a similar program with IIT, Guwahati, and also with other universities like Royal Global University, the other regarded program,
USTM, and then with India Handling State Open University. We have also done the program with various associations representing the industries, the manufacturers, and suppliers also like FICCI and CII and the Chamber of Commerce in Assam and all. So we are very happy to check once again that we are here. And I, on behalf of the Competition Commission of India, am welcoming all of you to this program. As has been introduced, today's program is basically about Competition Act and Competition Commission of India, and I will add further about the procurement policies and related issues to that. The Competition Act, I will just give up some idea about this, and later my colleague Guwahati will take over and we will hear about the political aspects and about the Act and the Commission in general details. But I'll just tell you the Competition Act is the act which was introduced in the Parliament in the year 2002, and it became an after it was passed in the year 2003, it became an act. And as per the act later in the year 2009, the Competition Commission of India was set up. The Competition Commission of India is basically a regulatory body, like you must have heard about Real Estate Regulatory Authority, Electricity Regulatory Authority, which are there in almost all these states. The central government also they have got. The central government has got a telecom regulatory authority also. So on that line, there is a regulatory body in the name of Competition Commission of India, which is a statutory body. And the main role is to enforce the provisions of the Competition Act of the year 2002. What is Competition Act? Basically, Competition Act is a modern economic legislation which has created or which has provided a legal infrastructure to tackle various competition issues which are arising out. It's a free market. We can say today India is free market. So there are so many competition issues which are arising out of this particular type of economic arrangement. So the Competition Act deals with that. It defines what is enterprise, what is a company, what is so many other things he will give in detail, and what is agreement, what is the illegal agreement, and so many things. What is misuse or abuse of the dominant position? How if two big companies are going to merge, then again the new challenges of competition that will arise. So what are their powers? So everything is very well defined, and the Competition Commission of India has enforced that. The keyword of today's program is basically competition. So let us discuss first what is competition. To me, competition is something. We can say that competition is a situation or a scenario or a condition where there are more than one person, say one student, one group, one entity, one organization, one manufacturer, one enterprise. So they all, these whatever I have mentioned, they all are vying against each other to achieve a certain goal. Loosely, it's a very competitive world, we say. It's become very competitive. Say the student life also, those students who are taking the CBSE examination and all, it's very highly, we say it's very competitive. What is the goal there in that particular competitive field? The goal is to score highest marks so that the best students, they will get admission in the best colleges or university in the country or abroad. So that is the goal that is achieved through the mechanism we can say of competition. Nowadays, the football tournament is going on, the World Cup football tournament is going on. It is very competitive again. Here, what is the goal? All the 32 teams which are playing in this tournament, they are vying to become the champion, to win the trophy. And along with the trophy comes a lot of money. The status of that particular country which is going to win the tournament, for those who reach, say, semi-final, even quarter-final, or even if they can qualify from the preliminary matches also, the prestige in the league of the nation, that goes very high. So that is the goal there. And not only the teams which are participating, the players also, If their team, if they perform very well, their team wins, then what will happen? Then all players are playing for foreign teams also. You must have heard about those who are following football, English Premier League, Spanish football league, German league, Italian league, and all. So they will fetch a very, very good prize if they perform very well. Their team wins the trophy, and so their future will be made also. In today's context, since we are talking about, I am basically here to address those who are dealing with procurement and related matters. Say, if downtown university wants to buy something, so naturally a tender will have to be floated against which a number of supplier or contractor they all will participate. So here, what is the goal? The goal is basically to win the contract so that they can make money. But all these three examples which I gave to you about the school or the college admission, about the football tournament or normal this for getting the contract and all. Supposing if the competition, the school examination is not fair, in the sense if cheating is permitted, if the evaluation of the answer is it's not done in a fair manner, what will happen? If in fact maybe the undeserving students, they will get very high score, but ultimately what will happen? The standard of education will go down. The reputation or the prestige of the good colleges, like if your wife to get admission in Cotton College or Delhi University, so that will go down. So after some time, good students, deserving students, they will think there is no point in trying for that, they'll go to some other place. So the competition has to be fair also. Say the example of purchase of some item through the mechanism of tender and all. If it is not fair, if the parties, and I will give you these very good examples also later. So if the parties which are participating, they are sharing information, exchanging information, they are indulging in those practices which are not competitive as per the Competition Act. What will happen? The prices of the commodity for which the tender has been floated, that will be very high. So who will lose if money? Suppose the X amount of money was to be spent for a particular item by the university, maybe 5x or 10x, that amount of money will have to be spent, and that is the loss to this particular university. So, what I want you to say that the advantages are there only when it is done in a fair manner, and the parties or those who are participating in the competition, they are not they are following the rules of the game basically what they're supposed to do. I will give you a very this example will make this concept of competition very clear, and you will also understand what are the advantages of a fair competition. Today I was going with the deputy administrative officer to downtown school. I was just watching. There was no coffee. I couldn't see any coffee stall in that side. But let us imagine for a moment, this university came into being in perhaps 2010 or so. Say 8-10 years back, there was no coffee shop in this what is called Gandhinagar, this particular area. So those who wanted, the students or faculty members or others in this area, if they wanted to have a cup of coffee, either they have to go to Bonda side or they will have to go to Panikhaiti, that beyond the high, this home guard training center in the market in that area. Those days, about 8 or 10 years back, the coffee, let's assume a normal type of coffee was being sold at 40 rupees per cup. And Bonda as well as the Panikhaiti, this whatever it is. Those who wanted to have coffee, they were walking down and they were having the coffee, paying 40 rupees or so. Whereas there were a lot of demand in this particular area also by the students, by the faculty members, or those who are living in this particular block or so. One of the enterprising person, a business-minded person, enterprising man, he thought that if he can open a coffee stall in this particular area near the university gate and all, he can make a good business and he can earn a lot of money. So, am I going very fast or is it okay? So he decided that even if he opens a shop and even if he sells coffee at 50 rupees per cup, they will not mind it, because right now what they have walked down to Honda or this place and paying 40 rupees. So they will not mind paying 50 rupees at this particular place. This fellow perhaps is having other business or working somewhere, so he opens a stall from in the morning from 7 to 9 o'clock, and again to 5 from 5 o'clock in the evening to 7 o'clock in the evening. And he sells coffee, the same quality of coffee at 50 rupees. Doing a good business, as I told you, there are many coffee lovers and all. What happens after some time, the manager who is working in this particular coffee stall, he finds that he can have he has learned the trade of the business also. He decides to set up another stall next to this particular stall near this downtown university gate, and he starts selling the coffee at 40 rupees. He knows how to do the business. He knows the price is there at Guwahati, and this is also 40 rupees. So same time, he is also keeping his shop open from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock, again from 5 o'clock in the evening to 7 o'clock or so. So, at selling coffee at 50 rupees, naturally, nobody will go to the next shop who is selling coffee at 50 rupees. Is it okay? So everybody starts going to this particular shop who is selling coffee at 40 rupees only. Then this person who opened the shop first, he was forced to reduce the cost of the coffee or the price of the coffee to 40 rupees. So just see the first benefit of a fair competition. The coffee which was being sold earlier at 50 rupees, now he was forced to sell at 40 rupees. And who is benefiting? Earlier, the same coffee lover, he was paying 50 rupees, now he is to pay only 40 rupees. This is the first and immediate effect of a good competition that the prices have come down. Fair enough. So now both of them are selling coffee, same quality of coffee, timing are also same. It is not open in the daytime. A third businessman also he emerges. He is not a very wealthy man and all, and he was working somewhere, some store or something. So he decides to open a third coffee shop next to these two coffee shops, and he starts selling at 30 rupees only. Why 30 rupees? Because he was making coffee himself, he was serving himself, so the overall cost was very less. So he could earn some profit by selling coffee only at 30 rupees per cup of coffee. So now there is a situation where there are three shops. One is selling 40 rupees, the second one also selling at 40, and the third one is selling at 30 rupees. Same quality of coffee he is also selling. But this person, he is keeping the shop throughout the day, right from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening. Naturally, all those who wanted to have coffee, they will not go to the first or second shop, they will come to the third shop because he is selling at 30 rupees. So, as I told you, the first advantage was there that the prices have come down. The second advantage was there. Now, the coffee lovers had a choice. If they wanted, they could have gone to the first shop, they could have gone to the second shop, or if they like the ambience of the third shop, table bhala se, kursi bhala se, and whatever it is, lighting is good, music is played also. So, they have got three choices. Earlier, when those things started, there was only one choice. The rate was also very high. It came down to 2, so they had 2 choices. Now there are 3 choices, and also the availability of services also increased. Earlier they were being sold only from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock, and again from 5 o'clock in the evening to 7 o'clock. So now it is the coffee is available throughout the day. So availability of service also has increased. What happens now? The first person who set up the first stall, he realizes now the only way out, because if he reduces the price further, it will not be very economical and all. So what he decided that to improve the quality of the coffee. Quality means earlier they all were selling the same type of coffee, ordinary coffee. Now he is introduced cappuccino, latte, and all those things. So now the customers they are getting better quality of the product also. So there is the fourth advantage. First I told you the rates have come down. The second is now there are choices. The third is that availability of services that is available in longer hours. And fourth is quality also has improved. If we can say the number of the variety of coffee which is selling. Suppose that the first two parties, they come to an agreement and they decide to further reduce the price of the coffee, which is not possible. I mean, it will no longer be economical. But they decide to reduce it to 25 rupee, thinking that if it reduce, knowing fully well that third party is not in a position to further reduce, that he will be thrown out of the business, the third party, because other two are selling at 25 rupee only. And once this fellow is thrown out of the business, they will again increase the rate of the coffee to 40 rupee, whatever it is. So this is an example of a bad competition because they are doing it with a motive. It is not as per the rule of competition. It is unfair. I will say it's one of the unfair competitive practices. So with these words, when I have tried to explain to you, give a brief introduction about the concept of competition and the advantages of competition. I will now request my colleague, Mr. Tanuj Goswami, to carry on. He will basically, as I told you, we tell in details about the competition act because of the competition. But many issues related to procurement policy and all. Mr. Goswami, please.
Thank you, Umesh. Am I clear to you all?
Yes, yes, you are very clear.
Okay, fine. It's a very good evening and welcome to all the participants from the Assam Downtown University to this advocacy program on Competition Act 2002. Meanwhile, my colleague Umesh has delivered a very nice piece on the concept of competition and the Competition Act. So far as today's program is concerned, I'll be delivering my speech on Competition Act, its important provision and its important definition. And I'll also be dealing with the Competition Commission of India, its structures, power and function. And lastly, I'll be dealing with the public procurement. As my colleague has given a very good background on competition and what is going on here. So I'll not be delving deep into the competition. As all of you know that our law is created out of necessity. That means necessity creates the law. The Competition Act was also created out of necessity for regulation of Indian market, which stands liberalized, which stands privatized and globalized since the year 1991. Presently, there are more than 100 countries where the Competition Act, or what we call the Antitrust Act, is in force. With the liberalization, privatization, and globalization, the world has witnessed coming up of regulatory bodies, agencies, trade organizations in different countries where the competition is given free run, considering the interest of the consumers and also to ensure quality of products and quality of services, and also for ensuring optimum or best use of scarce resources. This Competition Act, it is business-like. It is a highly professional and it is very significant in our country, that is in present India. Just now, I'm going to share my screen with you. I'll be presenting a PowerPoint here, just a minute. So I don't know why I have not been given the right to host only the host can use the presentation.
Sir, you can share the screen.
Okay, fine. Have you seen the slides here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. This is Competition Act 2002. As I have said earlier, it is most dynamic and it is evolving. It is evolving in line with international trend and the changing realities in India. And it is the most challenging act. Now let me come to the next slide. That is the Competition Commission of India. Competition Commission of India, it is under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It is headquartered in New Delhi. And this is a regulatory body. It is a quasi-judicial watchdog organization, just like there is Telecom Authority, just like Medical Council of India, so on and so forth. The Competition Commission of India, it is constituted under Section 7 of the Competition Act 2002. And it is consisting of not less than 2 and not more than 6 members. This commission, it is bound by the rule of law or the principle of natural justice. It abides by the rule of precedence or any other acts of the Government of India. Now let me come to the next slide. That is the short background of Competition Act 2002. From 1991, the Government of India rolled out many reforms and so the LPG policy, that is the liberalization, privatization, and globalization, which was started along with other reforms, it gained ground and we entered into the market economy. The Government of India in 1991, it announced 2 very important policies. The first is the new economic policy of 1991, and the second is the new industrial policy of 1991. And it marked the watershed period in the Indian economy. This new economic policy of 1991, it resulted in the opening of the Indian market to the private and the foreign players. And the new industrial policy of 1991, it welcomed all the private sectors to some major industries like coal, like iron and ore, like manufacturing, etc., which were formerly reserved only for the public sectors. In 1999, the Government of India constituted a committee. The name of that committee is the Raghavan Committee. Actually, SVS Raghavan, he was a very senior central government officer, and under his chairmanship, this Raghavan Committee was constituted. And this committee, in its report in the year 2000, recommended to the Government of India for enacting the Competition Act 2002. And our Parliament approved this act in the year 2003. Basically, this act was fully operationalized in our country from the year 2009. The Competition Act or Antitrust Act is meant to regulate the Indian market. The bottom line of Competition Act 2002 is very clear. It is just to create a fair competition, a level playing field, and the welfare of the consumers. This is the background in very brief. Now let me come to the next slide. That is the Competition Commission of India. As you have seen in the slide, the Competition Act has 3 arms. The first arm is the Competition Commission India. Second is the DG, that is the Director General. And the third is the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. This Competition Commission of India prohibits, it's very important, it prohibits all kinds of anti-competitive practices, anti-competitive behavior, and it also prohibits anti-competitive combination. And also, it prohibits abuse of dominance. The Director General is an investigating part or arm of the Competition Act. And the main objective of the Director General is to investigate into all kinds of anti-competitive practices, abuse of dominance and combination, etc. And lastly, the third arm, that is the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, its main objective is to hear and dispose of all kinds of appeals against any direction, decision, order made by the Competition Commission of India. The direction, decision, and order of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal can be appealed or can be challenged before the Supreme Court of India. Now let me come to the next slide. That is the objective of the Competition Act. It is very simple. As I said earlier, the main objective is to strengthen the economic efficiency. As you know that where there is competition, there is efficiency. It is a natural phenomenon across the world. The second objective is to promote and to sustain competition in the market. The basic objective of the Competition Act is to foster fair competition in every field of trade, commerce, business. And this competition helps in sustaining the spirit of competitive culture. And the third important objective is to protect the interest of the consumers, which is of paramount interest for the Competition Commission of India. The next is to ensure freedom of trade and resource allocation. The competition ensures level playing field where all the market players can well participate with freedom of trade and business across the country. And it is also ensured by our Constitution, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause G, Part 3 of the Fundamental Rights. Next, it creates competition culture through advocacy. Today, we are conducting this program for Downtown University as a part of the advocacy program, as we have been mandated under Section 49 of the Competition Act. That is why we are here with you right now. And the last one is to prevent unfair and anti-competitive trade practices that have appreciable adverse effect on competition. মই আপোনালোকক অসমীয়াটো কম ইংৰাজীটো কম কথাখিনি মই আপোনালোকক মই যিখিনি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট যিখিনি পাৰ্ট what we should know as a citizen of India মই সেইখিনি আপোনালোকক বুজাই আছো. It is very simple. Let me come to the next slide. The power and function of the CCI. The Competition Commission of India is empowered to enforce the Section 3, Section 4, Section 5 and 6 of the Competition Act. Now, this Section 3, it prohibits anti-competitive agreements, anti-competitive practices, or anti-competitive tendencies. I'll discuss it later on. Section 4, it prohibits abuse of dominant position. And Section 5 and 6 relates to regulation of combination. Combination means it's a kind of amalgamation, a kind of merger, acquisition of enterprise, etc. Now let me come to the next slide. That is the process of inquiry under Section 3 and 4 of the Competition Act. The Competition Commission of India can initiate the following action against any anti-competitive practices. আমি যদি কিবা এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিবা এন্টি কম্পিটিটিভ যিবোৰ প্ৰেক্টিছ মই সেইটো আহি আছো আপোনালোকক আমি যদি কিবা গম পাওঁ then how to approach the commission. Here is the procedure. It is very simple. First is on receipt of information from any person, any consumer, or any trade association under Section 19, Clause 1, Subclause B, anyone can submit a report or reference or any complaint before the commission with a prescribed fee as decided by the commission. The second is suo motu. Suo motu means on its own. When the commission comes to the knowledge that there is a violation of section 3 and 4 from various sources, it may be from newspaper report, maybe from any other authoritative sources, or from media report, etc. That is under section 19, clause 1. And lastly, the central government or state government or any other statutory body or statutory authorities under section 19, clause 1, subclause A can refer any matter of contravention of section 3 and section 4 to the commission for its opinion on it. This is the procedure, how to approach the commission by different agencies or person, different enterprises, or anyone can. Now let me come to the next slide, that is inquiry and investigation. It is, as I have said, since case has been initiated or maybe initiated under section 19, clause 1, clause 1A and B, or clause 1, subclause 1A. After receiving the information or receiving the complaint or receiving such information from any other sources, the commission, what they do, the commission, if it of the opinion that there exists a substance or there exists a case, then prima facie, if it comes to that point or that conclusion, then the commission, what did they do? They send a reference or send a complaint to the Director General for investigation. And after investigation by the Director General, in case of any contravention, the final order is given by the commission under section 27. In case there is no contravention, the case is closed. It is very simple, the inquiry investigation procedure. Important definition. It is equally very, very important. Actually, this is the core of this act. That is section 2, clause B, that defines agreement. That horizontal and vertical agreement. As all of us know, what is an agreement? I mean, সকলোৱে জানো যে agreement to কি? Agreement is nothing but it is an arrangement, an understanding, or it is an action in concert which may be legal or may not be legal, which may be in writing or may not be in writing, or which may be enforceable or may not be enforceable. But here under Competition Act, there are two kinds of agreement. One is horizontal, other is vertical. Horizontal agreement means it is between or amongst person or competitors within the same level, and it relates to price fixing, sharing of the market, bid rigging, etc. While the vertical one is, it is between person or enterprise at different stages of the production chain. As for instance, when there is an agreement between the producer and the seller, or producer or the retailer, it is vertical agreement. And it is illegal under Competition Act. Now let me come to the next definition, that is enterprise. What is an enterprise? Normally, what we understand, enterprise বুলি ক'লে আমি সাধাৰণতে any business entity, I mean, হেতুকে বুজো. Actually, it is not that. Under Competition Act, enterprise is defined as a portion. It is defined as a government department or any other agencies which is engaged in production, engaged in supply, distribution, acquisition, storage, control of goods and provision of services. Then let me come to the next definition, that is the section 2, clause C, that defines cartel. What is a cartel? আমি সকলোৱে জানো cartel কি? Cartel is nothing but an association. That association is maybe of producers, maybe of sellers, maybe of distributors, or maybe of service providers who, by an agreement among themselves, limit or control, or attempt to limit or attempt to control the production, the distribution, the sale, the price, the trade in goods or services. It is totally illegal under Competition Act. Now let me come to the section 3. This is most important definition. It defines anti-competitive agreements or anti-competitive practices. Under Competition Act, it has been defined as enterprises, as I said earlier, enterprises or portion or association of portion or association of enterprises, including cartel, shall not enter into an agreement in respect of production, in respect of sale, in respect of distribution, storage, provision of goods or services, which cause or who is likely to cause appreciable adverse effect on competition. And such agreements are considered as void. Now, the question is, what are the agreements which are considered to have appreciable adverse effect on competition? Here are agreements which directly or indirectly determine sale price, purchase price, etc. This is illegal. Or agreements which limit or control production, limit or control market, technical development, investment, provision of goods. These are all illegal. Thirdly, agreements which share the market. There cannot be any agreements which share the market or sources of production or provision of services by allocation of geographical areas of the market or nature of goods or number of customers or in similar way. These all are illegal. And lastly, agreements which directly or indirectly result in bid rigging or collusive bidding. This is important. Now let me come to the section 4 that defines abuse of dominance. What is an abuse of dominance? It is also very simple. Section 4, it defines abuse of dominant position. This dominant position is not bad. Any enterprise can remain in dominant position in any field, any production, anything else. But if it abuses its dominant position, it becomes an offense under Competition Act. Now, dominant position has been defined as a position of strength enjoyed by an enterprise in the relevant market, which enables it to operate independently of the market forces prevailing in the market, or affect its consumers, or affect its competitors, or affects its market in its favor. Now, what are the abuse of dominant position? Dominant position means, or the examples are, when an enterprise indulges in unfair pricing, or discriminatory pricing, or predatory pricing. মই দেখোন আপোনালোকক এটা এক্সাম্পল দিব বিচাৰিছো ৰিগাৰ্ডিং ইন দ্য ডমিনেণ্ট পজিশ্যন। আপোনালোকে নিশ্চয় সকলোৱে জানে যে আমাৰ যিকেইটা বৰ্তমান ই কমাৰ্চ জায়েণ্টছ আছে, এমাজন, ৱালমাৰ্ট, ফ্লিপকাৰ্ট, গুগল, এটচেট্ৰা, these are big companies, very big companies. They're mega companies, but they're dominant in the market. So these companies are facing numerous lawsuits, not only in India, but also different countries of the world, for their abuse of dominant position, for their anti-competitive practices or behavior. The next is when an enterprise indulges in limiting production or technical development, or when an enterprise indulges in denial of market access in any manner. or when an enterprise indulges in conclusion of a contract leading to supplementary obligation, which is no relation to the subject matter. And lastly, when an enterprise indulges in use of dominant position in one market to enter into the another. These are all dominant position. Actually, under Competition Act, there should not be any abuse of dominant position. কিন্তু incidentally, presently, আমাৰ গোটেই পৃথিৱীখনতে অকল মই ইণ্ডিয়া বুলি কোৱা নাই, যিমান বিলাক দেশ আছে, মই এইডোখৰতে আপোনালোকক এটা সুন্দৰ মই এক্সাম্পল মই দিব খুজিছো, আপোনালোকে গম পালে নিশ্চয় ভাল পাব কথাটো। আপোনালোকে জানে যে আমাৰ এছিয়াত বিশেষকৈ জাপানখন এখন very developed country. Here, Japanese government, it started the opening of the electricity market in the year 2000. That is meant to end the decade-long monopoly of some major power companies, and also to help lower the electricity bill by promoting competition. And so the Japanese government, it liberalized the market to a large extent. But some electricity companies violated this anti-monopoly act. And these utilities, they refrained from acquiring new corporate customers outside their traditional service area. Or they had some traditional areas where they served their purposes. Ultimately, when the Japanese government came to know about it, their Fair Trade Commission, there's a commission like our Competition Commission in Japan, that the name of that commission is Japan Fair Trade Commission. It imposed a fine of 10 billion yen on those companies after finding that they formed a cartel and they obstructed liberalization of the electrical market. Okay, just now let me come to the next slide, but here is another section that relates to combination, that is 5 and 6. This combination, it normally happens in big corporates. So I'm not discussing it. Now let me come to the next slide, that is the coverage of this act. This act covers all public or private organizations, all government departments, except those which are engaged in sovereign function, like banking, atomic energy, space, defense are outside the purview of this act. The objective of this act is to create a level playing field where there is no discrimination between public and private, no discrimination between the domestic and foreign, and no discrimination between big and small enterprise. It is a kind of level playing field where everybody can well participate and can well play in a fair manner. Lastly, it has the power of extraterritoriality. That is, the Commission has the power to inquire into conduct taking place outside India, but having adverse effect on competition in India under Section 32. মই যেটো আজি আপোনালোকক আমাজনৰ কথা কলো, ফ্লিপকাৰ্টৰ কথা কলো, গুগলৰ কথা কলো, these companies, মই আগতেও কৈছো আপোনালোকক যে they are facing the heat of the Indian court. যদিও তেওঁলোকৰ headquarters are all based in other countries, but the Commission has the power to conduct inquiry against him and to inflict punishment. Now, let me come to the next slide. It is the power of the Commission and the DG, that is the Director General. The Commission and the Director General, which is an investigating body of the Commission, have concurrent powers. That is, the Competition Commission of India directs the Director General to investigate the anti-competitive practices or anti-competitive behavior. The Director General can investigate after obtaining direction from the CCI and conduct down raid. The Director General has a special power. That is, he can conduct down raid in any premises. Next is, the Competition Commission of India can issue summons it can enforce attendance of any person or examine on oath, or it can receive evidence on affidavit as per provision of the Code of Civil Procedure. Similarly, the DG has the same power. And when this Competition Commission, just a minute. Actually, what happens, while discharging the power, the Commission shall have the same power as that of a civil court under Code of Civil Procedure. Moreover, every proceeding of this Commission is treated as a judicial proceeding. The Commission may call upon any expert in the field of trade, commerce, economics, accountancy, international law, and business, as it may deem fit, to assist the Commission in the conduct of inquiry. Now let me come to the next slide. That is the powers of Commission, orders, and penalties. It is very simple. The Commission has the power to make interim order. This interim order is when during the inquiry, if the Commission is satisfied that an act has been committed in contravention of Section 3 or Section 4, or continues to be committed or about to be committed, the Commission by an order may temporarily restrain any party from carrying on such act until conclusion of inquiry or under further order. Then let me come to the other part, that is the penalty. The Commission has the power of penalty. It is very harsh, that in respect of anti-competitive agreements and abuse of dominant position. After inquiry, the Commission can impose fine up to 10% of the average turnover of the last preceding financial year. But so far as cartel is concerned, the Commission can impose 10% of their average turnover, or 3 times of its profit of each year of continuance of such agreement, whichever is higher, on each seller, its producers, its distributors, and service providers. And the Commission has the power to order for modification of the agreement, or so far as the abuse of dominant position is concerned, the Commission has the power to ask for division of the enterprise. Similarly, there are fines when there is non-compliance takes place, or when anyone if any person without any reasonable cause fails to comply with the orders, direction, or decision of the Commission under Section 27 or Section 28, he shall be punishable with a fine which may extend up to rupees 1 lakh each day, or maximum of 10 crores. If any person does not comply with the order, direction, decision of the Commission, or fails to pay the fine imposed, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend up to 3 years, or with fine which may extend up to 25 crores or both. So far as this penalty part is concerned, the Commission is very harsh. Moi apnalok duta case recorder kotha in a very simple way. Moi apnalok kom tetia apnaloke kotha khini beshi clear hobo. Let me discuss about here is a case of bid rigging and cartelization. It is quite simple. Let me come to the next slide. It is here case records of tire companies. The Competition Commission of India, actually, it initiated the case of cartelization or market distortion, and in controlling production and limiting supply distribution in the market, contravening Section 3 of the Competition Act 2002 against 5 tire manufacturing companies: Apollo Tires, JK Tires, MRF Tires, CA Tires, Builder Tires, and their association, The name of their association is Automotive Tire Manufacturer Association. Case was registered against them by All India Tire Dealer Association for their what? For their distortion of the market, for their cartelization. The CCI, that is the commission, held that the 5 tire companies were guilty of contravening of Section 3 of the Act when they exchanged pre-sensitive data through their association and taken collective decision on prices of tires, and thus they amassed huge profits. Actually, what they did, they didn't want competition among themselves. They distorted the market. So after long investigation, the Competition Commission imposed a penalty of 425 crores on Apollo tires, 622 crores on MRF, 252 crores on Seat, 309 crores on JK tires, 178 crores on dealer tires, and 0.84 crores on their association. Incidentally, the MRF tires decided to appeal against this order and approached the divisional bench of the Madras High Court, which dismissed it on 6 January 2022. Then again, they preferred appeal before the Supreme Court of India, filing a special leave petition. That was also dismissed by the Honorable Supreme Court on 28th of January 2022. And all these companies, they had to cough up the huge amount of fines. Moreover, certain individuals of the said tire company were also made liable. It's a very simple, but it's a big case so far as our country, India, is concerned. Then there is another case, Maruti Suzuki versus Dealers Association. It's a versus dealers case. What happened in 2019? The Maruti Suzuki Limited was fined 100 crores for indulging in anti-competitive conduct. Actually, this Maruti company, Suzuki company, it restricted discounts of some dealers of Maharashtra. As you all know that every car company has a discount policy. But this Maruti Suzuki Limited, they imposed discount only as per company directive and didn't allow the dealers discount. What happened? This resulted in serious restriction in competition at dealers level, both in intra-company and inter-company level. And it is a serious distortion of competition. Moreover, what Maruti Suzuki did, they engaged an agency. The name of that agency is Mystery Shopping Agency, to ensure that no additional discount was offered to customer by dealership or distributors. This Mystery Shopping Agency, actually it worked on behalf of Maruti Suzuki. They concealed their identity and they disguised as customer to the dealers, and they obtained dealers discount, and which was related to the Maruti Suzuki companies. So the Maruti Suzuki companies threatened the dealers that their dealership will be canceled and they will not provide any car for sale. Ultimately, the dealers filed a petition before the commission alleging restriction on competition by Maruti Suzuki Limited. After a long investigation, the commission proved that the allegation was absolutely true, and Maruti Suzuki was fined 100 crores for their anti-competitive conduct or behavior. This is another case, and now this is the last case. I'll be wrapping up soon. This is in regard to cartelization and bid rigging. Here, the government of Kerala, the government of Kerala, it floated a tender, the government tender actually, for an insurance service provider for their flagship scheme, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana Asani, in 2009 and 10. At the time, 4 big government-owned companies, United Insurance, National Insurance, New India Insurance, and Oriental Insurance Company, they participated in the bidding process. And United Insurance bagged the contract. It was a public procurement meant for the poor and the downtrodden people of government of Kerala. The United Insurance Company, what they did, it all of a sudden terminated the contract unilaterally and raised high premium value. At the time, the government of Kerala had no other option. So they had to re-tender. And this time too, the United Insurance Company begged the contract at a very high premium for the year 2011, 12, and 13. In the meantime, the CCA got an anonymous letter about bid rigging by the insurance company with a copy of the minutes of inter-company coordination meeting where the top executive participated and they agreed to a business sharing model and backed the United Insurance Company. The CCI, after investigation, found that there is no reasonable explanation for demanding enhanced premium by the United Insurance Company, and found that these 4 companies, they prefixed the prices. They manipulated the prices. They did not want their competition to take place among themselves. They coordinated themselves and formed a cartel. Ultimately, the CCI had to impose a hefty fine amounting to rupees 671 crores, rupees 271 crores in New India, 162 crores on National Insurance, 156 crores on United Insurance, and 100 crores on Oriental Insurance. Just imagine what is going on here. Also, this is my last slide. That is a special feature of Competition Act. This act make advocacy, which you find in no other act. This act, that is a Competition Act, ensures competitive neutrality. That means no distinction between public and private, between domestic and foreign. This act, even it do not spare abuse of dominance by government-owned enterprise. Its intention is to create a level playing field for market players. The act ensures flexibility of entry and exit, where the enterprise can get in and get out of the market at their own sweet will. This is the main feature of market economy. Then this act is extraterritoriality risks, means anti-competitive practices taking place outside India but having adverse effect in India. Such companies can be brought under purview of the Competition Act. Some people say that the IPR Act, you might have heard about the IPR Act, that is the Intellectual Property Right Act, and Competition Act are contradictory, but it is not that. Both are complementary and both focus on innovation and general welfare of the people. Lastly, this act is a provision, this act is a provision for leniency, that is whistleblower protection, which you find in no other act, offering a leniency treatment to cartel members who report to Commission about any anti-competitive practices. With this, I'm wrapping my part. So I now request my colleague Umezi to carry on his part. Thank you all.
Some more time, but because they got the time, he decided not to continue. He has given you very briefly, time is limited, the relevant provisions of the Competition Act, specifically section 3. So he basically covered the important and relevant provisions as far as civil audience is concerned. Section 3, 4, mostly 5 and 6 also he mentioned. He also told in brief about the Competition Commission of India, the structuring, the powers. I will share with you some very practical examples which may be of interest to you. Time is very limited, so maybe I will share. At least I will share one with you. And we are just discussing with the Vice Chancellor Sir about his own experience. So related to that, I will share one example. Say you are this downtown. Are you able to understand little bit the students? Little bit I'm saying, I know it is difficult for you because you are not very familiar with that. But now I will share with you again. Very difficult for you to relate to that example, but I will try. So now downtown university has become very big. We have got so many school of nursing, your physiotherapy, engineering, all the possible disciplines are being taught here. Then you opened a school also nearby. Downtown has got a very, very famous hospital also. And the management is same. But I believe so. Suppose the management, or if you can tell it as a company, the company decides that the purchase of all the stationery items or all the institutions under downtown university or with the same, under the same management group is to be made centrally from this institute by the purchase or commercial section or wing of the institute here. There are many stationery items for the sake of today's this particular session. Let us say that purchase of pen. Pen has to be purchased or be used by the employees. Maybe the students also, if they have got some sort of a store or outlet, they can sell to that. So first of all, the demand of the pen has to be worked out from all the institutes. The person who has been engaged or who is looking after this work is doing the same work for the last 10 years or so. Every year the exercise, normally the financial year begins in April, so the exercise starts in the month of January or February. Exercise in the sense that we work out, we will ask all the branches or the faculties or the department, the schools and all, to say how many pens do they want for the coming year. So it has been collected and the entire demand comes out to be say 1 lakh pen is required for use by all the disciplines or groups or institute under this particular university or the management. So now 1 lakh pen has to be purchased. The process has begun. The person who is working in the purchase department, dealing here or section officer and all sit down and they float a tender. You know, to buy anything, there is a certain document called tender which is prepared and then the condition of the tender saying that we want this particular item within this period. So all those interested parties, they can say at what rate they will supply and also this is what we call tender. So this is the process by which the downtown this university also floated a tender asking the willing party, or maybe I don't know what is the system here, say let us say the willing party who are in this business to give their offers. And this type of arrangement is going for the last so many years. So the tender notice was issued and against that tender notice, parties participated, I mean the willing supplier. And it is found that this year only 3 suppliers, they have expressed their willingness to supply pen or to participate in the tender process this year. Till last year, there were many willing suppliers who were participating for supply of this particular item. And you know how much the pen will cost. I understand 20 rupees, so ordinary pen will cost in the market. So by this same process, last year the purchase section, they purchased well. I mean, the lowest, what we call bidder, was given the contract at the rate of 40 rupees per pen for supply to pen. 1 lakh number last year also was. So last year the rate was 40 rupees, and prior to that, naturally every year the prices are increasing because the cost of item is increasing. So prior to that it was say 35 rupees or so. So last year it was 40 rupees. Prior to that it was 35, which is very, very reasonable because the person who is in the business will get some profit and all. In last year, there were many willing suppliers, not less than 12 or 15 or so. But this time, only 3 parties they have shown their willingness to supply. These 3 parties, they are full after the tender document, their bids were open. It is found that they are fulfilling all the conditions. The technical, if you can say, the technical specification may be what with the normal life of the pen, whether it is a gel type pen, is normal ink type pen, and the color and what type. So all the description and details which were there, all these 3 parties they were fulfilling. And they were also accepting the terms and conditions which is there in the financial part of the tender notice. Fair enough. So all are eligible to participate. But the person who, as I told you, he is dealing with this particular item or this type of purchase for last so many years. So he makes a comparison. What happened? Last year there were so many parties who participated. This time only 3 parties have participated. And when the tender document, the bids are opened, it is found out that last year the lowest rate was 40. This time the lowest bidder has quoted a rate of 100 rupees. The second lowest has quoted a rate of 105 rupees. And the third lowest, and there are only 3 parties, he has quoted a rate of 110 rupees for supply of pen. You know, normally we insist whether it is a private institution or a government office or department that there should be minimum 3 bids. So they have also worked out that way that if there are 3 bids, they are fulfilling all the conditions. So they presume that their tender listing will be accepted, and one of the 3, the lowest one perhaps, I'm sure, he will get the contract for supplying 1 lakh pen. The purchase man, he is very sincere, very honest, he is very alert. He goes further just to find out what has happened, why less number of billing supplier this year. So it is found out that yes, there were many others also who were willing to participate. But these 3 parties, before submission of the rates, they were meeting regularly. They were exchanging information also as regard the rate, at what rate they should quote and all. And they said the other willing parties, you please don't participate in the tender. I, as the lowest bidder, A, say if you can name the lowest bidder as A, I will get all the contract, and then say total how much profit he will be earning. 1 lakh pen, last year it was 40 rupees. If he gets a contract for 1 lakh pen at 100 rupees, so a straight with 60 lakhs of rupees, he will be making, this additional money he will be making, which is a huge money. For any even government department or private institution, every rupee counts. So this money can be spent very well over purchase of other items or for welfare or for developmental work and all. So the lowest, the person who has submitted the lowest rate, he thinks that he will be getting 60 lakh rupees more. So he says others, you don't participate. There is no point of participating. I will get the contract. So why you should waste your time and energy, and I will pay all of you 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees without even participating. They are also happy. Without participating, they are getting some money. And those, in spite of that, there were other parties who wanted to participate, but they were put under some fear that if you participate, will do some physical harm to you. So they also kept away from the entire process. So now there is a situation, 3 parties are there, others have agreed not to submit the quotation, or they asked not to participate by putting some fair amount. So this is the position. So if the organization decides to place order, they will lose only over one item only 60 lakh rupees, as I told you. So the purchasing this clerk, he will go and tell his boss, look, this is what I have come to know. This is happened. The next, he will go to his boss maybe he will go to the registrar, he will come to the vice chancellor, the chancellor, vice chancellor and all. I am sure they will.
Is the session disconnected?
Yeah, Aishwarya, I also can't see or hear.
Okay.
I think some technical issue.
Okay.
Mr. Goswami, are you still connected?
I think they're connecting now.
Yes, now.
Who is related to this particular purchase at any level, they are giving all the details. If the department or the purchase section of those dealing with the purchase of items, they are not willing to inform, then any of those contractor or supplier who wanted to participate but he has been kept away by those three suppliers, he or she also can make a complaint to the Competition Commission of India, giving all the details of what went behind submission of the tender in this particular case. So any of those contractors who were forbidden, prohibited by force or otherwise not to participate, so he can make a complaint, he or she can make a complaint. Suppose that fellow, the contractor, is very much scared, he doesn't want to come in the front, then he can submit an anonymous complaint, not necessary to put his signature or name or address. So we will just give all the details, saying that look, this is what has happened in downtown group of institution this time, and all these parties they behave in this manner, so necessary action should be taken against them. So either by his name, or he can give an anonymous complaint, or even if he doesn't want to give any anonymous complaint, then somebody else in somebody else's name, some fake name also he can give a complaint that will be entertained by the Competition Commission. Only the facts should be given there. If he doesn't want to do that, also he can inform any of the correspondent, local planning Pratijit, Janambhumi, Sentinel, Hindu, Times of India, and gives all the details that look, this is what has happened. Please publish in the newspaper because this has to be stopped. And if it is published in the newspaper, the Competition Commission of India will get cognizance of the matter and they will inquire. A reference can also be made to the Prime Minister Office, Chief Minister Office, and they can also take it. So, or even any NGO, any person who is not in any way connected to this particular deal or the tender, if he knows the fact, he can also make a complaint to the Competition Commission of India. So this is as regards the complaint is concerned. Just a minute. Hello. So anybody can make a complaint. It could be by AdtU or those who are reading or the Chief Minister Office or newspaper or whatever. What happens? This is important now. What happens once the complaint reaches the Competition Commission of India? The Competition Commission of India gets a large number of complaints. Because I gave you one example, I got other examples also, but I think I will not this limited time. So hundreds of thousands of complaints are coming, because I gave you one example that these things are happening all over the country, in every state, every organization. So you can imagine a large number of complaints must be coming to the Competition Commission of India with a request to cause inquiry into such complaint and all. It is also possible that many people, out of sheer jealousy, they are making a complaint against genuine. Suppose there are suppliers who are in this business. They are coming to giving their tender, submitting the tender and all for the last 20 years. They know at what rate it should be submitted and all, so that they can win the tender and all. So there is a possibility that some people, they are not getting the contract, though they are participating over many years or so. So they will be naturally jealous against those parties, and they will just make a false complaint also. So it is not, because when an inquiry is to be made, first of all, it has to be decided whether on the face of it, it seems to be a genuine complaint or it's a false complaint. So this job is done by, they have got a small setup, they are called antitrust division in the office, in the commission headquarters at Delhi. So all the complaints are first of all sent to them in antitrust division by the commission per se. They will cause inquiry, preliminary inquiries, that is based on the fact which have been given in the complaint and the documents which have been submitted with the complaint. And they will make a preliminary inquiry. They will say on the face of it, yes, there seems to be some truth in the matter and needs detailed inquiry. Or they will say that on the face of it, there is nothing, it's all maybe out of jealousy or it's a fake one. It doesn't require any depth of further inquiry. They will give the report to the Competition Commission of India. When I say Competition Commission of India, means the chairman and the members, that is the Commission Act. So the inquiry, the report of the antitrust division will go to them, and then they will decide कि इसको आगे करना क्या है, इसको बंद कर देने का. If they decide that it needs a detailed thorough inquiry, then they refer the matter to what he mentioned also, that is for, he will send, the commission will send to the office of the DG investigation, Director General Investigation, which is a part of the Competition Commission of India setup. They have got a lot of legal power also. They have got power as per, and they work as per the what we call Code of Civil Procedure. They can summon anybody, they can ask anybody to produce document before them so that they can do their inquiry properly. So after doing all those things, they pass their order after giving ample opportunity to the party against whom the inquiry is being made. They will come, you put up your from your side what you have to say, and also giving reasonable opportunity. Then they will submit their report, and that report again will be considered by the commission, and then they finally pass the judgment, the order. You mentioned about something called interim order. You know, this type of inquiry, the complaint, that goes on for a very long time. I gave you a very simple example, but there will be cases where the complaints are against very big parties, multinational companies, because Competition Commission of India has got the power to cause inquiry even in those cases against some company whose headquarters are in a foreign country, maybe America, Google, Microsoft, Apple, whatever, any Amazon and all. If there is a complaint, it can also be looked into by the Competition Commission of India, because they are, though their headquarters is elsewhere, but the decisions taken by the company is impacting the consumer in our country, and over which they have got the power. So, you know, complaint against big companies and all, they take a very long time. And that is why there is a need for an interim order, which is passed by the Competition Commission of India, prohibiting the party, look, there is a complaint against you, we are doing the inquiry, we have a reasonable suspicion that you are doing this type of thing. So we are just cautioning you, please don't indulge in any such activity. This is one. Why I'm saying those who are reading the newspaper must have read recently Competition Commission of India imposed a fine of more than 13 crore, 1300 crore on Google in one case. And again, after a week or so, they imposed a fine of 700 crore for different type of offense, whatever, as per which goes against the sections of Competition Act. So, and these cases, they will run for years together because they are very rich companies. They will just delay. They were very powerful lawyers who are very well paid. They all will, on some ground or other, they will delay it and all. So that is why this is the concept of fixing order, just warning the parties that don't do that. Because when the question finally will come about passing the order, if they come to know that even after passing the interim order, they have done some hanky-panky, then they will impose more fine. I will come to the fine part also. I was simply, of course, he has mentioned, but I will just take the same example. If you have got time, 5 recently, in the month of January, those who are ready to use the saying, you must have read that Supreme Court, Supreme Court passed an order upholding the order which was passed earlier by the Competition Commission of India. That order perhaps was passed by the Competition Commission of India in the year 2013. That order was based on a complaint which was filed by one of the parties against 5 biggest tire manufacturers of our country. You must have heard about JK Tires, CA Tire, MRF Tire, Birla Tire, all these 5 companies. So there was a complaint against these tires, that this tire company, that they, along with their association, every such manufacturer, there was some association also, and the job of the association is to help them. They store the information, and they are supposed to share only those information which is necessary. What is the COK? How many customers, how many tires they sold last year by which company? How many dealers are there? How many wholesalers? So these type of general information, they are supposed to share with the tire manufacturers who are member of the association, but they are not supposed to share crucial information with the tire manufacturer. So, but in this particular case, this association shared, they were having all the information, and they shared some very crucial information with the tire manufacturers, based on which they regulated their purchase, the production capacity, the production of tires every year. They regulated in a way to perhaps to reduce, to create a scarcity of tires during that particular period, maybe in a particular area also, which were basically going against the provisions of Section 3 of the Competition Act. So once the matter reached there, the Competition Commission of India, they conducted inquiry and they imposed fine of to the tune of 700 crore, 800 crore, 600 crore, 500 crore, like that to these 5 parties, total amounting to maybe about 3,000 crore or so. This was the order which was passed by the Competition Commission of India, as I told you, in 2013. And as I told you, these parties are very rich party. So immediately these parties, they went to High Court. And High Court, they got a stay order from High Court. They said, okay, no action is to be taken on this order of the Competition Commission of India. So matter was pending around. Later, the party who has moved to the Competition Commission of India went in appeal against the order of the High Court, Madras High Court, in a division bench. They said, so they should be set aside, the single bench order of the High Court. So they went there and the division bench, they set aside the order of the single bench of the Madras High Court, meaning thereby that these 5 tire companies, they will have to pay the fine as was ordered by the Competition Commission of India. Again, as I told you, they are very rich party, so then they went to the Supreme Court against this order of the exam. So that is why it was dragging on. It took so many years to finally get the relief in this particular case. So they went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court finally said that the order of the Competition Commission of India was justified, and these parties will have to pay so much of fine, and they must have paid by this time also. Because if they fail to do it, as he told also, they will have to pay very heavy fine. If the Competition Commission of India passes an order and they refuse to, or they are delaying it, as he was mentioning, if I am not wrong, 1 lakh rupee per day. I mean, it depends upon what is the quantum of fine which has been imposed upon the parties concerned. So I was just telling about the interim order. So that is the concept and why it is necessary and how it gets delayed and all. So now coming back to the power of the Competition Commission of India, there are 2 types of power, and this is important. First is they can impose a penalty of payment of 10% of the average turnover of the party for the last 3 years, average of the 3 years. Suppose in the example which I gave to you, there are 3 parties A, B, and C. A has got a turnover this year 100, previous year also 100, prior to that also 100, so average is 100 crore. B has got an average of say 50 crore, C has got a 30 crore, C has got a 30 crore. Then if the complaint or the facts which have been made against, I mean the complaint against are found to be true, the Competition Commission of India can impose a fine up to 10 crore against A, up to 5 crore against 10%, like 50 crore, so it will 5 crore, 100 crore, 10 crore, and third is 30 crore is the average turnover, so up to 3 crore it can impose fine. Not a small amount for a small supplier or contractor like this. For in case of very big companies, we also mentioned about cartels around. So the big companies, they what we call they form a cartel. Companies, any the tire manufacturer, you can say they are also formed a cartel. The cartel means very big company who are operating in on a very large area, and they have got some sort of written or unwritten understanding also with other similar manufacturers, so that I mean just to so that they can regulate the production, they can change the price scale and all, which goes against the interest of the consumers. So big party, if the big parties are involved, if there is a cartel, and if in such cases the complaint is met, the Competition Commission of India, they can impose a penalty to pay fine up to 3 times of their profit, the average profit earned by the company for the last 3 years. So if the average profit of a party in the last year is 100 crore, then the Competition Commission of India can impose fine up to 300 crores of rupees. By this time, as I told you, the Competition Commission of India was set up in the year 2009 only, but by this time they have passed hundreds of many hundreds of orders, and you can see the range of the fine which they have. Google 1300 to I just give an example. They tried to tire manufacturer 700 crore, one tire manufacturer. There are so many cases. Amazon, there is a case, and even he mentioned about the insurance company and the other. So this is such a vast power they have got the Competition Commission of India, and that is why it is necessary for us to know, for you all to know more than the students because they are still learning, those who are working in the offices, because they are dealing with such contract items, they must know. Because if a complaint is made and through them the office staff, because wherever I go and do this type of program, I request the organization also to call some supplier who contractor this type of, because it is for them to know. If they are indulging in those anti-competitive practices, they do not know what may happen, what is the repercussion of what they are doing. If a complaint is made against them, they do not know anything. What will happen suddenly? The Competition Commission of India will impose a fine, and they will find it very difficult then to pay. Because not only paying the fine will be there, they will lose face also in this particular business, and so that will bad happen also. And as I told you, anybody can make a complaint, not necessary. Because even people who are working in the institution who has spoken to them, government or private, it is applicable to everyone. Offices also, big organization also. Universities also, everywhere, in big companies also, private also. So now, as I told you, anybody can make a complaint who has got the information. It can be, inquiry can start based on a newspaper report also. You can hide your name also, anonymous complaint. AdtU can make a complaint. And I'm sure once the complaint reaches, then the matter will be looked into. And finally, these people, they will have to suffer. So I will request you, at least those who are dealing with you on a regular basis, the big contractor and all, you please call them and share with them what I have shared with you today about the process of the competition act and also about the rule and responsibility and the powers of the competition act. Those who are interested, they can log, because we cannot cover, there are so many things to discuss, many examples also. They can log on to the portal www.cci.gov.in. Before I close, I just want to share three very short example, interesting example. In the year, I think 2014, Pune Municipal Corporation, they floated a tender for, they wanted to pay some company who had to count the number of trees in the Pune Municipal Corporation area with the help of GIS and GPS technology. So they floated the tender. Many parties must have participated, and something must have gone wrong in that particular case, because NGO made a complaint to the Competition Commission of India. The matter was inquired into, and finally, after inquiry, the facts were found to be true. And then the Competition Commission of India imposed a fine. There were three parties who were involved. So the fine which was imposed on party A was 1 crore 30 lakh, second 1 crore 22 lakh, and third party was around 20 or 30 lakh. That was depending upon the charges, the complaint which was there against them, and also upon the turnover of the company concerned. Why is, and not only this, not only these three parties they were fined, they were perhaps involved, there was involvement of the employees of the Pune Municipal Corporation. So the Competition Commission of India asked the corporation to initiate, they would just warn and letter that look, you have done something, you know it was wrong, please don't do it in the future. If they wanted, they would have asked the organization to initiate departmental action. Also, this power they have got, they can do that. So it is not that only the parties are going to suffer, those employees who are working in the organization. If there is a feeling, there is a suspicion, they are also handing close to the contractor. And if a complaint is made, then they will also have to suffer because departmental actions may be initiated against them. So this was, I wanted to share this example because I want to tell you that not only the parties are going to suffer, the employees also will suffer. And second, in this particular case, the complaint was made by one of the NGOs. This NGO has nothing to do with this particular work. He was in no way related with this, whatever this the work. But still, their complaint, the commission took cognizance of, and finally they passed this order. The second case is about what is called Assam Petroleum HPCL Petrochemicals Limited. It's a very big company. And they, 2013 or 15, they issued floated tender for supply of LPG cylinder. You know, LPG cylinders are to be provided to them so that they will, wherever the gas, the cooking gas is, LPG gas is manufactured, so it can be filled into those cylinders and given to the consumers and all. So this was the work for which the tender was floated, and details of how much money and all that. So what happened? In this case, the commission took two motor cognizance based on an anonymous letter for tenders which were floated by HPCL for supply of cylinders to its bottling plant in 18 states with regard to allegation of wheat disease. Somebody complained that there was wheat disease. Somebody made an anonymous complaint. The DG investigation was asked by the Commission to cause an investigation into the matter and submit a report. So it was inquired into by, and finally, what were the discrepancy found? The DG also found evidence in relation to exchange of withdrawal letter format. Many parties, what happened? Later they withdrew. They had submitted their bid, they later withdrew, and not only one, two, many, maybe 51, all 51 of them, they withdrew the letter. I don't know what had gone behind that. And they had found evidence in relation to exchange of withdrawal letter. Exchange of the parties, they were in touch with each other. And that is why they decided about withdrawing from the process and all. And submission of bids by certain entities using common IP address, entities having common or related management, and common agents working for the cylinder manufacturer who met each other frequently and were aware of decisions of other companies. After hearing the submission of opposite party on the investigation report, the Commission found 51 LPG cylinder manufacturers and their respective office bearers to be in violation of provisions of Section 3 of the Act, and accordingly directed them to cease and desist from indulging in such anti-competitive practices and impose a fine of rupees 40 crores on 51 LPG cylinder manufacturers and rupees 45 lakhs on their office bearers under Section 27 of the Act. Why I share this example? For two reasons. In this case, anonymous complaint was made, which was accepted by the Commission. And second, not only the companies were fined, their employees also were fined. Those who were working for the company. Why? Because they were regularly meeting with, they are not supposed to do, they were exchanging information, they were using the same email ID, perhaps same IP address, and all those things were common. So it was a clear-cut violation of Section 3 of the Competition Act. It falls under that domain, and that is not only the companies, people also who are working, they are also liable to be punished for this type of act. So that is why I shared with you. Lastly, I will share example which is of some interest to you because it doesn't deal with the anti-competitive practices, but it deals with the concept of misuse or abuse of the dominant position. Any player is very big player. So he is putting certain conditions which goes against the interest of the consumer. So when this particular complaint was made, what Competition Commission of India did, I will just share with you. In this case, a penalty was imposed by the Commission on Messrs. Jayaprakash Associates Limited, a reputed builder of the country, for abusing its dominant position. You must have heard about some of you about the JP Associates. They are a very big real estate player, making buildings in or around Delhi, Greater Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurgaon, and all those places. And one of the leading real estate players, builder in the National Capital Region. So in this particular case, an information was filed by one lady, Mrs. Naveen Kataria, against Mr. JP Associates Limited, alleging that in contravention of the Section 4 of the Competition Act, the builder JP Associates Limited issued a provisional allotment letter which was having terms and conditions which loaded in favor of the builder. So whenever you make a contract to make some payment, they will give you these terms and conditions. So which he has prepared, it was totally in his favor only, not taking the thinking of the interest of the people who had booked flat with them. So after forming an opinion that there existed a prima facie case, the Commission referred the matter to the DG for an investigation. On perusal of the report of the DG, the Commission found the opposite party, that is Jayaprakash Associates, to be dominant in the relevant market, and the standard terms and condition of the builder was found to be one side and unilaterally favoring them. Furthermore, the conduct of the builder, like collecting money from the buyers without delivering the residency unit on time, carrying additional construction and altering the layout plans, imposition of various charges, etc., without consulting the buyers, were also held to be abusive. Thus, the Commission concluded such conduct of the Jayaprakash Associates to be in violation of Section 4. Section 4 deals with misuse or abuse of dominant position. So they are found to be liable, and they were they were asked to pay a fine of about 14 crore, which was calculated at 5% of the average difference level. I thought I will share with you because some of you might have put some flat such builder amount. If he is doing the same thing, you can go to even the Competition Commission of India. So they a separate regulatory body by the name of Real Estate Regulatory Authority, which is there in every state. So I thought I will just share with you. So I got many things to share with you, but I am very limited. I could have many other interesting examples also to make the book concept very clear. Why we are here? Basically, you should know that what I am doing here and what needs to be done by you. So I hope we have succeeded in putting across whatever we wanted to say, and it's a new concept, and I hope it will be of some use to. So with these words, I would like to close this session.
Hello, so my call.
You want to say something?
No, I have nothing else to say right now.
Now you want to say something? You want to say something, Mr.
Thank you for the participants and to our resource person. I'd just like to inform you that today's program was an advocacy event to make you aware of Competition Commission of India. I just wanted to inform you that the booklets are also available in Assamese on our website, that is cci.gov.in. So you can log in to our website to get more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar, Mr. Goswami, and Mr. Rao, and all the participants. See, for students, when you enter into real life, you might find application of some of the things you have learned, right? What happens in life, you attend different things, but after 20 years, oh, I learned that, I heard that, so this is relevant today. So whatever I learn in life, it doesn't go wasted. Sometime at some point, it becomes useful. Maybe today because you're not in the real work field, right? But it will be useful. Just remember that. With these words, thank you all the resource persons and the participants. Thank you very much. If we are government agency, then nothing is private agency. I know,